Okay, everybody, welcome to exam review 2, the return of the test. As mentioned before, this is being recorded. No one emailed me any questions, so I'd like to open it up to Josie, Veronica, Albert, those that are attending live first, to see if there are any burning questions about what might be on exam 2 and how I could clarify anything that may not have been totally clear to begin with. So everything's clear, everything's good. Josie, you ready to go? You're gonna just get an A on this straight up, 100%?
I hope so. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't have any questions per se. If there's anything that I need to focus on and study more than others, I'll do what I did last time is just look over the PowerPoints and, all the information that I have.
Sure.
To study.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a true false question then. If you were to say, I'm going to tell you something, you tell me whether it's true or false. The oldest federal regulatory authority over wetlands is Section 10 of the Rivers and Harbors Act of 1899. Is that true or false?
Oh.
That's false.
I'm going to say false. Okay. I was going to say true.
I don't know. I just seem kind of updated.
So maybe y'all want to review
that.
Okay.
Review the week 10 reading supplement, slide 8 on the Rivers and Harbors Act.
Okay.
Hint, hint, might be a good thing to review.
Okay.
Slide 8 on the week 10 PowerPoint. That'll tell you. All right. Y'all stand by. My dogs are deciding to go crazy while recording. Hold on one moment. All right. Never fails. Okay. Another question. Veronica, I see you're here with us. I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's see. Veronica, do you know what the acronym FIFRA is? Could you explain it to us? FIFRA. What do they stand for?
I have that one written down somewhere.
You said FIFRA?
Correct. Yep. FIFRA.
I do not remember that. Hold on.
Okay,
Let me look through my notes.
Albert, do you got this one?
Yeah, it's fungicide, insecticide, rodenticide. Hold on, I'm thinking out loud. I say fungicide, insecticide, rodenticide.
You're close.
You're close.
Yeah, I can't remember what they said, but I know it's something around the lines. It's fungicide,
Yeah.
insecticide, rodenticide, FIFRA, Act.
You're close.
Federal.
Very close. That sounds good,
insecticide,
Albert.
fungicide.
Oh, it's federal? Okay.
Yeah, federal.
Oh, that was
The
what
rest
else.
was right.
Good job, Veronica. Good job. All right.
Thank you.
So that's 2 free questions off the exam right there for you guys showing up for the live class. So y'all, the exam is going to be structured the same way as the previous one. I've got pretty much all multiple choice and or true false. You took the first exam, you saw how I structured the questions. This one is very similar. We've got acronyms. I would know what FIFRA means, like we just went over. I would understand a bit when it relates to NEPA about the Council on Environmental Quality, CEQ, what that is, what that does. Understand the concept of NIMBY, not in my backyard. I would make sure I understand certain acronyms from the from our clean water discussions, like SDWA. I would understand what RCRA is, RCRA. I would probably concentrate a bit under RECRA. There might be several questions on the exam over that. Again, that's week 9, reading PowerPoint.
Okay.
You might find that most of these questions are strictly from the PowerPoints, so I would definitely learn them. I tried to synthesize the important material from the reading when I put it into the PowerPoints, in case you haven't noticed yet, by reading them. Okay. I would make sure we know a little bit about the background of the Love Canal, and maybe also understanding what Section 303 of the Clean Water Act establishes. Again, that's Section 303 of the Clean Water Act. So hopefully that gives everyone a bit of sense of comfort as to the exam. It's 50 questions, 50 questions, and you've got 40 minutes, 40 minutes to get them done. All right. I hear a lot of breathing, so people are getting anxious. Or maybe that's some yoga power breathing coming in. Maybe that's what I'm actually hearing.
Someone's more stressed than I am. So the only thing, which I'm terrible under pressure. So like some of the questions I missed on the other test, it was because like I was reading real fast and then I marked the wrong thing. And then when I saw what I marked, I was like, good Lord. But it's tough to like read it and then just answer it and go. I'm like one that like reads the question like 3 times, and I don't have time to do that. So
I can appreciate that, Josie. I can appreciate that. I'd like you to write something down. It's a phrase that we used to say in my Army unit, and I found it incredibly powerful at times, especially in times under duress and where you have to really work well under pressure. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. When we're under pressure, when we're under a tight timeline, sometimes that's all we can think about are the seconds that are ticking away, right?
yes.
It causes a lot of stress, it causes a lot of anxiety, and that's a horrible negative feedback loop to begin in. Tell yourself, slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Take your time, take the time that you have. Now, there is a certain amount of time that you have for each question. None of it is that long because it's designed to test what you know, not what you can Google and look up. But take the time that you have with each question. Read it methodically, slowly, and so that you're only having to go through it once.
Okay.
Read it. Maybe read it out loud to yourself. I have found in the past that sometimes that helps me. I force myself to read it out loud.
Okay.
I end up actually reading it a bit slower. I'm still reading it pretty quickly, more than enough time to know it. Take the time to digest it, because if you go too quickly, you find yourself circling back, being anxious about what you overlooked because you went too quick.
Right.
This is why I say slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Do it methodically and slowly the first time. You're not going to have to circle and come back. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. But that's it. It's like I try to like speed read it and then hurry and mark a question to go on, you know. And so then once I went back and looked at sometimes I just marked the wrong thing. I knew the answer, but it was like the one right above it or whatever. So I was clicking too fast also. So,
Okay.
all right. That I'll try to do that. Read it out loud. That might be very helpful.
And you know, you've got a good amount of time for each question, but try reading it out loud. And look, if you've read through the PowerPoints,
Yes.
and there's nothing that says you can't have them out in front of you or on a screen. This isn't a closed book exam. You can't collaborate with other students, but you can use your notes, your reading material, right? Read through, and if you've read the PowerPoints, read through all the PowerPoints right before you take the exam. Just refresh in your mind, okay, here's where this is. Here's where this information is. when you start reading the question, maybe the first question says something like characteristic wastes. Okay, characteristic wastes. I remember where that is. I just looked that up. It's in reading supplement blank, and it's right around slide blank. Characteristic wastes. What are the hazardous characteristics of waste? Well, I remember that. I came up with an acronym for myself. Maybe I called it CRIT, C-R-I-T. Maybe that stands for corrosive, reactive, toxic, or ignitable. Boom, I just did it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And that took 15, 20 seconds. Done, move on to the next one.
Okay.
We'll get through it.
All righty. Well, I did better. I mean, I got to read all of the questions at least. In the past, in some of my other courses, like I'd have like 120 questions, and I really would only get to like 80 something. And then my time.
120.
So I just clicked through the rest and, yeah, hoped for the best.
Well, I thought I was being strict with around 50 questions, and you're telling me 120. Well, now I feel a little bit better.
Well, 120. I mean, I had more time, but still, I always ran out of time on his. I never read through a full test on his stuff. But anyway, so yeah, 50 is manageable for sure. But well, on the final, will there be like more than 50 questions on the final? Or
I haven't completed the final exam yet. I've got a basic structure of it, but I haven't finished it. I usually keep it to around 50 questions as well, but I give more time.
Okay. All righty.
So again, I'm not trying to structure the tests to cause a lot of stress and anxiety. It's more to test what you know, to show what you've incorporated. We give a lot more points in this course to your discussions, to your papers, to the documents that you have control over your own time to build, to review and research. So I do hope those industry reports are coming along well, for those of you in this review and for those of you listening to this review. Just remember that I expect you to follow the basic instructions of those industry reports. Needs to be 12-point font, Times New Roman, single space. Use your spell check, use your grammar check. Have the Writing Center review the documents before you submit them. Have another third party look them over. You can also email me a rough draft and see if you're on track, see if I notice any fatal flaws or red flags. Use the resources that are available to you and you will succeed.
Okay.
Any other questions about the exam? Generally, I think now I've given at least 3 free questions. So, Josie, you should now have answers to at least 3. You can quickly find those and mark them done and then take more time on the others. So I think that's a fair deal.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's all I have. I mean, I didn't have anything that was like specific. I'll study like I did last time.
Sure. All right. Albert, Veronica, any specific questions or things I could help clarify for either of y'all?
I have a question. I know you mentioned the report and it's due soon, but what's the exact date, the due date?
Do any of you have the syllabus pulled up?
I looked through it and all I could see was like, it's at the week of the
Yes.
26th, I think. It didn't
Yes.
say like an exact date.
It doesn't have like a specific day. So I figured it was like probably Saturday or I don't know, towards the end of the week, I would think.
So Veronica, and for those of you watching this recording, are you asking what is the absolute last minute and second you can submit the industry report?
Yes.
I guess so.
That's the wrong answer. That's the wrong answer. Okay, but I get it. And that's probably something that I can improve on the next syllabus for the next class. So when I say week, I mean like our week that we've done so far with our discussion posts. So before midnight that the week ends, which would be a Sunday night, midnight y'all's time. Let's get those in. I'd like to have enough time to review those and give you proper feedback for the ones that want it. It's a long report, and that's a lot to grade. It usually takes up an entire weekend of mine. I have to kiss a Saturday, Sunday goodbye to take care of those because I want to give you the feedback that you deserve. I'm not just going to skim through them. So for those of you that want feedback, just like with our other documents, you can let me know. I will grade them. We'll give you the grade. And if you want specific feedback with edits and everything else that I put into the document, be happy to share those with you for continued improvement in your writing. But let's get those industry reports in by the end of that week. That says in the syllabus. Did that clarify?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Anything else?
I don't have anything.
Nope. All right. Well, I wish all of you good luck. It'll open up, the test should open up. And again, for those of you right here in the audience and those of you that are listening, if you run into any issues with the exam, communicate with me. Communicate with me as soon as possible. If you notice a question that you think is wrong, answer it to the best of your ability. If you go back and look over the notes or the reading and you find out, oh, professor, you got this wrong, communicate with me. We will look at it together and we will see what's what. And if you end up being right, I adjust all the points for everybody. Just don't freak out. Don't let it get you into a negative mood. Just communicate with me about it and we'll get everything squared away. Take your time, breathe, do your yoga pose of strength, yell and scream at the screen and intimidate it before you start the test if you want to, but I highly suggest you keep the PowerPoints available, that you read through my supplementary PowerPoints before you start the exam to refresh everything that you went through, that you concentrate on the acronyms, that you think about the major acts and legislation that we covered and the important points that I put in the PowerPoints. What did the professor put in underline? What did the professor put in bold? Did I happen to add a note that says you should remember this or this is really important? Those are usually clues that it could be on the exam. All right. Well, with that, y'all, I'm going to go to dinner because it's been a long day. So I appreciate y'all taking time out of your evening to sit down and talk with me and to bring your questions out. I hope that I've been able to clarify, and I wish you all the best of luck on the exam.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Y'all too.
Thank you.
Professor, I have one question. You still there? Yes,